welcome to the British Grand Prix. We're here for Wednesday nights and 14 drivers here tonight. It will be 15 in a matter of minutes once another driver joins us. It is a short qualifying tonight here in the Silverstone Grand Prix. We have Edge out on circuit now as I just get myself prepared and ready with 51 left on the clock, and a lot of things to look forward to in this one. As I will bring up the championship standings in a matter of seconds. Just hold your horses for that. As we have Edge on circuit right now, about to do a lap. Let me just put everything up so I'm prepared. And where are the points? Here we go. Standings. It is a 5-point championship lead for Hartwig over Broker Reptile. Broker Reptile unfortunately was not here for the Austrian Grand Prix. So Hartwig takes the lead in the championship. Then we got Little T in third, Oxygen fourth, and Kritikama in fifth. And then the constructors McLaren just dominating right now. But the real story, it is all about Hartwig and Reptile. What do the McLarens do in all of this? And I've just been told it is... Oh boy! It's a pouring down Grand Prix. It is wet. It is wet, wet, wet. You know? That song, that wet, wet, wet song, I forget how it goes. I should know, to be honest. We all should know the wet, wet, wet song. I forget what it's called. I'd have it in my head right now, but I just completely forgotten. So you're going to see a lot of softs around here, except a few drivers out there on mediums. Maybe some drivers thinking maybe the rain could not be enough for Inter's tyres, but I have been told it is completely downpour effect at this circuit. As Edge crossed the line, it's a 29.3. Not the best lap of the day because Jenny Gooch crosses the line with a 25.7. So Jenny Gooch goes to the top. 25.7, that's a pretty decent lap by Jenny Gooch. As Football and Bo out on lap time right now. Hartwig sitting right there as well. As Supergrove does a 27.183. I'm kind of surprised this driver's out there on mediums, but clearly they want to be... I don't know why you wouldn't just do soft. But that's just my opinion. Oxygen Feet for now, starting his lap time as well, but let's go on board here with Football and Bo. Let's see what Football and Bo can do. He's actually validated, never mind. Here's Hartwig though, the championship leader in the McLaren. Comes around the last couple of corners. What can he do here? Hartwig now crosses the line. It's a 25.296. Probably not his best lap he could probably do anyway. As the man second, the championship is coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. Let's see what Reptile can do here. Reptile will want a good result here tonight. We'll want to improve after not being able to race in Austria, and we'll want to get that championship lead back. The Red Bull of Oxygen Thief sitting there right behind. We'll go on board with Oxygen Thief. Reptile across the line. He goes P3. Oxygen Thief goes P4. So 25-7 from Reptile. 26-1 from Oxygen Thief. So Oxygen Thief there in P4. It is a completely wet race for this one. So hold your breath for that one. It could turn to absolute bedlam with 15 drivers here on circuit. Little T has invalidated and will come into slow down actually. Paddy Crow validates as well, so it is a steady as she goes session for now. But oh my goodness me, what's going on behind there? We'll just ignore that as Paddy Crow comes around last few corners now with that absolutely black helmet of his. And he could be just doing some lap times here, but it's not going to really matter. Lap times will be slightly down because you're going to see all those drivers on wet setups. A lot of them will be on a wet setup here in this session, so I'm going to see some cracking times, like a 24.4, 24.5 or something like that. But who knows, I could be surprised. You never know. As Oxygen Thief now has just improved to a 25.7. Reptile the same thing, the 25.5. So that's another thing about a wet race is you could just do back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back laps. Football and ball, P5 right now, as Stroke Race is in the racing point. Tori's on the out lap. Here comes Black Hammer now. In the Haas, looking for a good couple of corners here if he can get that. 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go on the clock. Not bad for the old Turn 1 actually for Black Hammer. Not too bad. Very cautiously through maggots and baggots. And 104.853 in the middle sector. What can the Haas driver, can he get up ahead of Edge? Maybe get in the 27th, we'll have to wait and see. And Reptiles come back in, so is Oxygen Thief. Jenny Gooch is out there on a lap time right now. As Black Hammer locks up. Black Hammer locks up, crosses the line, and it's only going to be a 29.363. This out there on a lap time right now, so it's Goats for life. So lap time's coming in thick and fast. Here is Jenny Gooch. Little T lifts off. Little T is done for this lap. Jenny Gooch is getting held up here by Edge. Edge gets out of the way. Jenny Gooch will be happy with that one. Edge out there on a set of mediums. And I don't know why people go out there on mediums if it's meant to rain. As Jenny Gooch now may have gone a slight toe from Notorious, Conor McGregor. Possibly. As Jenny now comes to the last few corners now. Let's see where the Red Bull driver can go here tonight. Winner in Austria, don't forget, and goes to the top. 25.133. P1 as of right now. And Abyss now finish up his lap. Coats for Life's in there behind. Abyss now last few corners. Let's see where Abyss can get up there. Can he get up there? He goes for 25.370. Goes for Life. Goes P7. So Goes for Life does a 26.035. So Open Growth had a big moment there coming out of the last Turn 1, I should say. Stroke Race is about to finish off his lap time here. 6:45 left on the clock. And he actually validates. I don't know how he did that. But Hartwig is about to start a lap time here. And we're going to go on board with a lap British Grand Prix with Hartwiggy. Let's do it now. Old turn one. Sorry, new turn one, excuse me, my goodness me. That's where chaos is going to ensue. And then you come into turn 3 and 4. It's going to be very chaotic through here in the opening laps of this Grand Prix. As you now come up to turn 5 and a DRS straight right here, right now. This is where passing opportunities will be huge here at Silverstone. And if you could get it right, you could get the move done and could see side-by-side action here for the old turns, the old final corners, but they're not the old final corners anymore. Out of 8 and along the old pit straight here at the British Grand Prix. Now coming through Cops, let's see, Hartwiggy, very nicely done. And now we're about to come up through Maggots and Beckett's. One of the toughest parts of the circuit, one of the toughest parts in the calendar, to be honest. Got to get Maggots and Beckett's right, and if you get Maggots and Beckett's right, you are looking good with your lap. That's our Hartwiggy now. Probably is going to go for another lap after this, so look out for that. As he goes through Stowe. Now for the final 3 corners, where can he go here? Can he get in the 24s or not? Oh, holds on to it and crosses the line now. It's a 25.011. So 5 minutes and 2 seconds to go. And that is a racing point that may have been slow out of the corner. Reptile begins his lap time now, 25.5. Will want to improve on that, to say the least. As through turn 1 he goes. Be looking to improve here, no doubt about it. And if he can, be a very good result for him here tonight. We'll want to get on pole position here in the wet at Britain. That's where you want to be. As Reptile now looking pretty good with this lap time here in the Ferrari. See how he goes through here. Can he get a perfect run? Not bad from Reptile. Is it purple? It's only 3/10 up. But it's 3/10 up. That could get him into second at least. He'll most likely go for another lap after this, so look out for that one. As drivers now starting to make their way out with 3 minutes to go in this session to determine pole position for the British Grand Prix on Wednesday nights. Reptile goes third. Only slightly down on Jenny Gooch, so trying to get close up in that pack if he possibly can, and he'll go again here for Broken Reptile. Paddy Crowe goes to P5. So not bad by the reserve AlphaTauri driver. Doing a nice job. As now Edge is now out there on a laptop. So let's see what Edge can do here. Black Hammer Nails Notorious who goes P11. Edge now about to come to the last few quarters now. Let's see what Edge can do. Round the last corner, Edge goes P6. So Edge goes up into P6 at the moment. Paddy Crowe sitting there at the moment, and Reptile figures get himself ready for another lap. As we've got 2:22 to go, these drivers better make their way out very soon, or they'll miss their opportunity. Little T now out on a lap time. So Little T, what can he do in all this? Is going to be the big question. We'll want another good night for McLaren. No doubt about it. And if he can do that, they'll be superb. as Little T now 4 tenths up here. Let's see what Little T can do. 1:25 on the clock. And I think it's probably glitched because that top 4 should be out by now. Maybe I'm wrong. Little T crosses the line and it's P4. Very nicely done by the McLaren. He goes to P4 in all this as the traffic jam begins. Ignore the timing. I think it's completely wrong on our screens. As Black Hammer's just fished off a lap time. We're going for a lap time right now. So Oxygen Thief invalidates actually, so that's going to cost him, and it might be game, set, match for him actually. I don't know. It depends what the times are doing and what the time is for these guys here at the moment, as Hartwiggy lags a little bit, but I don't think that's from Hartwiggy's point of position. As now Abyss will start his lap as well. And Paddy Crow is lifted off. Paddy Crow's done for the session. As timing stopped and Oxygen Thief does wow, that's a quarter cut and a half from Oxygen Thief and he spins it. So he'll be in the mid pack in P8 here at the moment. So everyone now on their lap times. Jenny Gooch improves in the first sector. What about Abyss? What does Abyss do here in the first sector? He's slightly up. What about Hartwiggy? Hartwiggy is slightly up as well. So the top 3, the main 3, are looking good here at the moment. Here's Goats for Life to finish off his lap time. Goats for Life comes around the last corner now. He needs to improve on 26.0, and he doesn't. Just slightly off. Paddy Crow's back into the lane. Jenny Gooch's only slightly up. What about Hartwiggy in this middle sector? Hartwiggy is up, and this could be pole for Hartwiggy, unless Abyss has anything to say with it. Or what about Jenny Gooch? 25.102, not enough. As Abyss now comes to line, they're equal. They're equal on time, but it doesn't matter anyway because Hartwiggy gets a 24.816. But for a second there, it was Hartwiggy and Abyss on the same time. It was absolutely unbelievable. And Jenny Gooch now, P3, Reptile 4th, Little T 5th, Paddy Crow 6th, Edge, Oxygen Thief, Goats for Life, Football and Ball, Muck Pin, Notorious, Urban Growth, Black Hammer and Stroke Race. That is the order for the Grand Prix in full-on wet conditions. So it should be an intriguing Grand Prix, no doubt about it. And there's the results. So who's going to be the best in the wet? Who's not? Who's going to struggle? It's going to be what we're about to find out in a matter of moments. The British Grand Prix not too far away. So it's full on wet conditions here at Silverstone. The rain is pouring here at the British Grand Prix. It is a wet race here at the moment. And it's going to be a wet race for the entire race here at Silverstone. So strap yourself in. It should be intriguing. And hello to Max in the chat. And the question on everyone's lips now will be this, is who is going to... if it's meant to stay full heavy wet, the question is are we going to see many drivers really... Well, a second, I'm just trying to fix this up. There we go. The question is are we going to see many of these drivers go a zero stop? That's going to be the question. Are we going to see many zero stops? Are we just going to see drivers go out there and do a one stop? You do lose a lot of time here in the pit stops here at Britain. So it's going to be tough for them, to be honest. So, yeah, you look at it as zero stop. To be honest, you're going to try the zero stop. But if you want the one stop to work, you have to come in, I think, around lap 10. Now, you've got to make it work at the right time because a fresh set of wets around here do have an advantage. But it's also going to depend on what as Abyss spins in the formation lap. That's probably like the 200th time he's done that this season in FormulaOCE. But it's going to come down to what the conditions will be. Will we see intermediate conditions at some point? As someone's just gone way off. Oh, Sartorius. Okay. That's going to be the question, is what will these conditions do? Who's going to struggle? Who's going to do well? Jenny Gooch looks like they're struggling a little bit. But we're getting close now. 15 drivers here at this one. And all mayhem could ensue in matter of moments. Formation lap would have been when you would have been feeling the car, how you would have felt with it, to see if it's good for you. It's Hartwiggy, Abyss, Jenny Gooch, Broken Reptile and Little T. That's your top 5 as we wait for Notorious to line up in the 12th position. 26 laps. The British Grand Prix is about to get underway. As we're racing, it looks like Abyss has actually got the better jump. Abyss, even with that spin on the formation lap, has got the better jump. Hartwiggy's gone off. A bunch of them have gone off. Both the McLarens have just gone off there. Jenny Gooch should come through in the P2. Hartwiggy is still off track. Oh no, that's caused chaos. Hartwiggy, that is a very dangerous re-entry there. Luckily, it's not caused a big crash, but it almost did. Broken Reptile down in the P6, and Little T's gone for the move on him, but here comes Notorious behind. Oh dear, Abyss leading here at the moment, and there's contact between Little T and Notorious here in this one. As they make contact between, they're still going side by side. This could end badly between these two. The two Red Bulls, 2nd and 3rd at the moment. But Notorious through the P7. His teammates up ahead of Broken Reptile and Edge in P5. So Reptile will want to move up here a little bit. But boy, oh boy, Hartwiggy, luckily he did come back on track, and luckily it did not cause a big incident, because it almost did. A few of those drivers would have been holding their breath when they saw that McLaren coming back on track. But luckily for him, it didn't end badly, and it didn't end badly for anyone else. As now Jenny Gooch is closing in here on Abyss as lap 1 is complete. Jenny may not if he keeps doing stuff like that. As our Reptile now closes in here on Edge. So things very steady, surprisingly. Paddy Crow down in P14. So something's happened to Paddy in all that. Black Hammer in the last position. So there's the predicted pit stops as Hartley gets a time penalty. So he must have picked up at least 2 warnings at that start. Again, this is what Reptile would want to see. Penalties galore from Hartwiggy, and then he can move his way up through the field. Probably also trying to make sure his teammate doesn't get by behind him, because that would just hurt Reptile's championship chances on Wednesdays even more. As Reptile now trying to close in, Little T gets a time penalty. The wet conditions just causing havoc here in Britain. You really don't get much chances from passing here. Jenny Gooch now closing in on Abyss. Passing here is so unusual, tough to happen. As Little T goes through, it's such a tough thing here in the wet. In the wet, it's so bad to pass because you rely so much on the DRS here at Britain, and it's not going to help you in the wet. As Abyss does the fastest lap of the race, 0.7 between the top 2. And more trouble for Notorious. Goes for Life goes through, and actually something's happened to Abyss. Abyss is actually around. It's a Red Bull 1-2. And Abyss, I think, is spun somewhere. Must have been turn 2. Surely, or turn 3, or somewhere. Or he's just missed his braking, maybe. So that's given Jenny Gooch the lead, and Oxygen Thief second. So it's now a Red Bull 1-2 in this Grand Prix, as Reptile still trying to close in here on Edge for 5th place. So how will you just couldn't close up on Abyss? Of course, Abyss was very quick in the wet on Sunday in Austria. He was very quick in the wet, and it was just superb. He was in the wet, was Abyss, and he had great paces. Now Football and Mo gets through on Notorious for P9, so Football and goes up into the top 10. I think Notorious is coming in. He must have damage. So he's got damage somewhere, Notorious, as Urban Graph now goes up into the points. So the real fight now could be Hartwiggy and Edge and Reptile, because Hartwiggy's closing that margin down. Sorry, Edge is closing that margin down on Hartwiggy. Has Hartwiggy maybe gone the dry setup and thought it could work in the wet? Who knows? What can Reptile do on Edge? Maybe Reptile just sits behind Edge and hopes Edge gets up near Hartwiggy, but at the moment that looks like impossible. That could happen. And yes, Chunky, I do agree. I don't want it to rain either. We've not have a nice wet setup at Britain. So the gaps pretty much just extending throughout the field. Abyss now is under a second of Oxygen Thief, so Oxygen Thief showing his... Sorry, Abyss showing his pace on Oxygen Thief here at the moment. And Abyss showing the speed he has to move up through the field and try to see if he can get back up near Jenny Gooch for the lead. Edge still under a second of Hartwiggy. Jenny Gooch just fast up a race. There's Goats for Life speeding in the pits. There's Goats for Life, while Goats for Life's actually retired in the lane. So that's a shame for him, and that will bring Muckpin into the points. But Paddy Crow is closing in on him for P10 in this one. Black Hammer moves up into P12 as well. Edge must be really struggling at the moment because Reptile's on him. And Reptile's got to make some moves here soon, because I'll tell you what, Little T is coming on Reptile at the moment, absolutely coming on him. So this is going to get interesting here to see how it all plays out between these guys at the moment. Trying to just get close as he possibly can to make this move on Edge. It won't be easy. He's got to get a perfect run here through Maggots and Beckett's. That's got to be his opportunity. 0.5 between Abyss and Oxygen Thief. Something's happened to Oxygen Thief, I think. And Reptile should. He's going to go for it. He has to dive it. He's just not close enough. He's just not close enough. And that's the thing about this circuit. You just... The wet conditions hurt you. The wet conditions hurt you so much, as Reptile just struggling, going deep there, as Abyss now tries to close up here on Oxygen Thief, whose, I think, car was just hopping up and down on our screens. And I think Jenny Gooch may have had a little moment, because now Oxygen Thief down to 1.6 now between the two Red Bulls. Let's see, Little T's just waiting for the right moment. That Reptile makes an error or struggles. I feel like Reptile's got the speed here, but Edge is holding him up quite considerably. And that's going to hurt Reptile here at the moment. Losing time to Hartwiggy. Oh, Edge closes the door on Reptile. Reptile's frustrations will grow even more by the seconds. Lap 6 of 26 of this Grand Prix. And still we watch Abyss here, because Abyss is right closing up here on Oxygen Thief. And Abyss will be growing frustrations as well. I would say in the chat, what happened to Goats? I do not know. I think he's just retired in the pits. He may have got damaged somewhere. I don't know. As Football and Ball gets a time penalty, Reptile is just being held up here massively by Edge. Britain the Wet is one of the most frustrating circuits when you're trying to make moves. Reptile's got to get this done as soon as possible. Abyss now trying to do the same thing with Oxygen Thief at the moment. If he can do that, that will help him out in this one. Paddy Crow now trying to close up here on Muckpin for 10th. If he possibly can. That's going to be the question here at the moment, and you've got to sense the feel of these drivers wanting to get these moves done, because boy it gets frustrating, like it is for Reptile right now. Little T's watching this behind, just hoping there's contact between the two, and then he gets two positions out of nowhere. That will be hoping for. Muck Pig gets a time penalty. While Abyss now's just struggling to get past Austria Thief. Jenny Gooch still holds the lead by 1.6 seconds. As we watch this battle again, Reptile just got nothing. He just can't do anything about it. As Paddy now gets close to Muckpin here for 10th in this Grand Prix. If Paddy can get a good run through here, he should get this move done. ERS should get this done. Jenny Gooch has had a moment because Austria Thief's now 0.6 behind. But watch it, Paddy Crow here looking for the move here on Muckpin, gets it done. So the two Red Bulls now are right near each other. Jenny Gooch may have made a mistake at turn 1, and that may have cost Jenny there. And this will help Abyss a little bit to move up through the field. This will absolutely help Abyss move up through the field here at the moment. Meanwhile, Notorious is through on Stroke Race for P13 in this Grand Prix. As now the battle continues on in this Grand Prix between the top two in this one. Well, the top three as well. Hartwiggy looks like he's just struggling in these conditions. But Edge is just doing him a massive favour. A massive favour, because you could just tell Reptile's got the better speed at the moment, but he just can't get by Edge. It's just so tough to make moves here in the wet. It really is. Little T sitting there behind. And I believe Muckpin has actually gone through on Paddy again. Wow. Unbelievable. 1.2 seconds is the margin for Jenny Gooch over Oxford FIFA. Reptile's made a moment. No, Reptile's in. And Reptile going for the strategy that I said that you could do if you wanted to go a fresh set of wets. See if you can get any advantage out of it. You pit now. This is smart. And in his situation right now, he does this to say, all right, everybody, I'm gonna play my game right now and see what all yous do. He's gonna make all these drivers speak, as Little T just can't get by Edge. He just can't get by. And Reptile has got clean air. That's not what a couple of these drivers here will want to see. Because the fresh wets here at this circuit is pretty tasty, to say the least, here on lap 9 of 26. So does anyone follow Reptile at some point, or does someone stay out on the fresh wets? So it's 37 seconds Reptile has to Jenny Gooch. So let's say Jenny Gooch stayed out till the end. I don't think Reptile's going to get 37 seconds in the next 18 laps. But crazier things have happened. You never know. But Reptile doing that is just saying to everybody, as Oxtra Thief comes in, it's just a message saying, how do you feel about your tyre wear? That's what he's saying. He's just saying to all of them, saying, all right, how do you feel about your tyre wear? As I said, are you confident enough? Because I'm coming in on a fresh set of wets. I'd be interested to see here if Reptile's going time already when Oxford Thief comes out here at the moment. But Reptile's suddenly here and Oxford Thief's coming out of the pits now. So Little T once again closing up here on Edge in this Grand Prix. As we see the margin, well, for Reptile right now, it's probably about catching up to being past this group. I don't think he cares about the top three at the moment. As Oxford Thief now will want to get past Football and Bo. And Austria Thief needs to make some time up as well, because he could, if the top two come into the lead of this Grand Prix. Trying to see if he can get by. It's just not going to be enough at the moment. Little T's just got not enough to go by edge. Excuse me. Trying to... Oh, no, you're not looking for it here. No way. Oh. That would have been brave. That would have been brave by Austria Thief to make that move. Done. So Biss does the fastest lap of the race. Maybe that's him sending a message saying my wets are okay. Hartwig stays out. As Little T now closes in here on edge here for P4 in this Grand Prix. But yeah, both Reptile and Thief are doing an alternate strategy, hoping it will work for them. Because if a safety car comes out, you know, boy oh boy, that gets them back into the game. And now Austria Thief are on football and ball, but the difference is that the car comes down and all these guys pit. All these guys are going to be on fresh wets, so they're going to be good on pace. But we'll have to wait and see what goes down there. 0.6 between Jenny Gooch and Abyss here at the moment. So these next 16 laps or so are going to be very interested to see how it all pans out. How's everyone's strategy going to be? How's everyone filling their tyres? It's going to be fascinating. I mean, with Reptile and Thief coming in that early, it shows that we're going to be full wet to the end. Because if it wasn't going to be full wet to the end, they wouldn't have come in. As Abyss now's closing in here on Jenny Gooch for the lead. Abyss has a time penalty, so he'll want to get this done here on Jenny very soon. What is the margins, by the way? Well, there you go, 35 seconds. Reptile's got 2 seconds on this group. I think right now, Austria Thief may come out into the lead. If, say, these guys pitted, he might just come out into the lead, only just. So that would be interesting if that happened. But these guys, honestly, if they're not pinning by past at least like 15-16, as Austria Thief shows his pace, that's a message being sent. Does Reptile do the same? No, he doesn't. But Reptile closing up here on Urban Grove for P8 in this race. And Little T once again just not anywhere close enough on edge here for P4. So Abyss and Jenny, a battle that's just going to rage on for the entire race. 11 laps they've done, and Reptile now through an Urban Grove. That'll be important for him. Very important for him. And if he can get past Football and Blow, that's going to make things even better in this Grand Prix for Edge. Sorry, for Reptile. There's the gaps. It's 28.2 at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that gap throughout this Grand Prix and see if that does change as Abyss is in. What is that going to do now? Hartwiggy comes in. So everyone's coming in at the halfway point. Edge stays out. Little T stays out. Oh, as Jenny Gooch Jenny Gooch could be under pressure here. Could very well be under pressure. So the question is now, where does Austria Thief come out in relation to Abyss? Reptile closing right up here on Football and Bow. Here for P7. Where's Abyss? There's Abyss. Where's Oxygen? Oxygen crosses the line. Urban Grove gets a speed and penalty. And Abyss stays ahead. So staying out for Austria Thief has not helped. But however, for Broken Reptile, coming in early for him has helped him to be ahead of his championship rival Hartwiggy. As now both Abyss and Austria Thief get time penalties So that's important for Reptile instead of his championship rival. And now it's Jenny Gooch and Edge, P1 and P2. Boy, Jenny Gooch has to make a decision now. Is it either staying out to the end or pitting now? You have to pit now. You just gotta. Because I feel like Abyss will come out into the lead as Reptile and Football and Bo. I think went out of the... No, Reptile got him through, so Reptile now clean air. But the important thing for him is he's his championship rival, Little T, self in the grass. A moment there for Little T. Was he trying to make a move on Edge there? I don't know. As Jenny Gooch stays out. Edge stays out. Little T's in. This doesn't look like damage. So this is a fascinating Grand Prix right now. Wiki now struggling to get by the Renault driver. Just not enough to get this move done here at the moment. Looking. Little T's in the lane. Muckpin gets a 3-second time penalty. Looks... Nah, it's just not enough. Just not enough at the moment to get this move done. As Little T says, OMG, that does not help as football... Oh, how Wiki's hit the back of Football and Ball, Bo. I don't know if he got damage from that. He may have just gotten away with it. Only just. Oh. He'll be breathing a sigh of relief if he's just gone away with it. He may have gotten light damage, only light. Which in these conditions you don't want to see. Jenny stays out in the lead. 25.2 seconds. Jenny may go to the end. Edge is still out there, but the problem for Edge is he's only 7 seconds behind. Abyss is from Edge. So look out for that one. Does Edge come in? No, Edge is... I think if you're staying out now, you're committed. You're committed. You're absolutely committed if you're staying out here at the moment. As things stay steady here in this Grand Prix. Lap 15 of 26. Abyss does the fastest lap of the race. I think Jenny seeing that will think, I'm staying out. If Jenny's confident enough to go to the on those tyres. He's got a massive migraine to just park the bus and take those tyres to the end. Oh yeah, speaking of migraine. Speaking of headaches, speaking of sore throat, yours truly. I just feeling great. Hang in there. There'll be no pony interviews tonight. I feel like garbage, so yeah, apologies to the drivers for that. Hopefully I'll be raring and rocking to go for next week in Hungary. I was thanking the Lord that it was not a full qualifying because I would have struggled. As Stroke Race comes, both the racing points are in. I think Stroke Race shouldn't get held up here at the moment. He will only just look at the rain pelting down here in this Grand Prix. It is fully wet. Edge is still out there at the moment. He probably should have pitted because honestly he's just going to lose time after time. If you lost and you know it, and you will find me time after time. And Edge gets a time penalty here in this Grand Prix. So Jenny Gooch, the sole driver out there at the moment, looking to do the zero stop. No doubt, because there's no way you'd pit right now. 24 seconds. You're staying out. As Hartwig gets another penalty. Actually, Hartwig's had a moment. basically the same moment Hartwiggy had lap 1 of this Grand Prix. Basically the same moment. Hartwiggy struggling in these conditions. And Reptile now, all he can do is just, honestly, just sit and take a P5, maybe a P4. He'll have to wait and see if he can maybe close down on edge at the end of this Grand Prix. To almost 20-second lead for Jenny Gooch. And right now for Jenny Gooch, it's all about staying out. Unless Jenny Gooch is confident enough to make up that lost time on Abyss and Oxyfifa Reptile. But boy, oh boy, that would be a stretch. It would be a big stretch to do if you have that in your mind. It'd be a massive stretch in this Grand Prix. As Football and Mo gets a time penalty. Back there in P8 at the moment. Little T's in P7. And Paddy Crow, another one who's trying to go to the end. Same with Footballin'. Here at the moment, but Footballin' is in. Footballin' may have actually spun somewhere and got damage, I don't know. And another 5 seconds here in this Grand Prix, so a lot of speeding penalties in this one at the moment, as the two Alfa Romeos are closing in on each other here at the moment. And Luke's saying it is a very, very octopus type of day. Footballing on the inters, but that being late in the race, I don't think it's going to be a factor, especially when Jody Gooch is there and Footballing is only coming out of the pits now. I don't think it's going to be a huge factor in this Grand Prix. Abyss now right on his teammate. Does Edge let him go? He will. So now it's 20 seconds for Abyss to catch up to Jenny Gooch. All Abyss has to do now is just put the pressure on. Do fast lap after fast lap. That's all he can really do at the moment. Not bad for a driver who was spun on the formation lap. And Edge is in. I don't know why he's waited this late. I really don't. Maybe he was hoping for a safety car, maybe, but I don't think that would have worked because I don't think everybody would have pitted again on another fresh set of another fresh set of wets. He's actually in on the inters. Going for a risk here. Hartwiggy's in. He's going to go the inters too, probably. Yeah, he is. I don't think it's inters weather. I really don't. I think these guys have made a big mistake. I could be proven wrong here, but we'll have to wait and see. And all this, Reptile's going to get the championship lead back at the moment. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to a head. So the gap between Edge and Little T we'll look out for here. If that comes down, it's losing time. Losing time. Boy, Hartwiggy may not even be in the points after all this. Has Abyss had a moment? Abyss has had a moment. It was under 20 seconds and now it's 23. Boy, that's not what he wants. There's the penalties at the moment. Ostrafif does not want to get another penalty. Reptile will get ahead. Yeah, it's just losing time. It's not Inter's weather. Hartwiggy could be outside the points here in a minute. Oh dear. It's not been a good day for the pole sitter. Ostrafif now is under that 3-second gap because Abyss has 6 and Ostrafif only has 3 seconds. So that's going to help Oxygen Thief, excuse me, to get into P2 and help him out to try to get some more points up in the championship for him. Jenny still holding on that lead. All Jenny has to do is just sit at the front. Got a good margin. Doesn't need a pit. Paddy Crow is there in P7. It was 7 seconds between Edge and Paddy Crow like a lap ago. Now it's 3 seconds. So the inters have not worked. I mean, well done to these drivers for the bold strategy, but boy oh boy, it's just not worked for them. It's not worked for them. It doesn't even look like wet conditions right, inters conditions right now. It's full on wets. Could it come back into their favour? It may, as that's, I think, Stroke Race who's had a little moment. He might have been letting a car through. Edge picks up a time penalty. Edge is going to go down to 7th in a matter of moments. My strong belief will be as Abyss gets the fastest lap of the race. So Abyss has put the hammer down and has got that margin above 3 seconds again. So he's confident enough. And Reptile's now closing in on Extra Thief. So Reptile could maybe still get on the podium. Could maybe still get on the podium here at the moment in this Grand Prix. Hardwick is just holding on to Urban Growth. There's the penalties situation. 8 to 6 seconds. Hartwig may still get points after all this, so be fascinating to see how it all plays out. 7 to go. 3.6 out between Reptile and Oxygen Thief. So it could be 14 points Reptile could gain here on Hartwig in the championship. As, yeah, well, he's actually really gaining on him. Edge now is under pressure here from Paddy Crow. Notorious has got Paddy Crow behind. So a real battle here on P7 in this Grand Prix. It's 5.1 seconds out between Abyss and Oxygen Thief. So maybe Abyss's tyres are starting to hurt. It's 2.7. Reptile's about to get a podium here at the moment. As now, Hartwig's actually gone away here from Urban Growth. And actually, Hartwig's getting that margin down between him and Notorious. Edge has a moment. Edge has a slight moment. But are the inters maybe starting to come into play? But again, late in this Grand Prix at this track, Paddy's in. So maybe Paddy's not confident enough he's going to get to the end of this race. Factor right now is this: if you're in the top 5, you do not pit. You do not pit on inters. You just don't. It'd be a stupid move if you did. Little team maybe, but you just don't pit as Hartwiggy's through on Paddy Crow. Paddy Crow now in the inters. Hartwiggy now is on it now and is starting to pull away. Are those inters starting to become a factor? But again, as I said, look at the margin. 18 seconds edges to little T. You're not going to gain a whole lot compared to inters and wets. If it's inters to dries, you do gain a whole lot. But boy, oh boy, the difference between wets and inters is huge. It can be huge, but at this track, you know, at the moment, look at these conditions. I think it's still, inters are only just quicker. Only just quicker. Jenny's in. Inters are on. Hartwig gets another penalty. Ooh, has Jenny made a mistake here? Or not? We'll have to wait and see. Broken Reptile I mean, I was going to say it's Reptile almost loses it. I was going to say the only one in the top 5 that could probably pit is Jenny Gooch. If Jenny was confident enough to go on those inters, which clearly Jenny is, and Jenny's now going to try and see if they can move their way up here. As you can see the margin between Edge and Little T, Edge is not really gaining a whole lot. I mean, he's gained a second a lap, but boy oh boy, well, Harwiggy, that's the fastest lap of the race. Let me compare the times right now for you all. Abyss's last lap was a 39.9. So it's about a second quicker. Austria Thief goes off track. But again, Thief and Reptile don't need to pit. They don't. Because look at the margin they have towards Edge. You're not going to... Edge is not going to come out behind you. It's not going to... Edge is not going to catch you in the end. He's just not. But Jenny right now is storming. The inters are the tire to be on, and I'm wrong. I am wrong. The inters are the tire to be on right now. Hartwig's done a great strategy call there, but it's... Again, you really need... Reptile's in! What are you doing? You don't need to pit! Oh my god, what are these idiots doing? Reptile had a podium! Reptile had a podium! Or was he hoping that Oxygen Thief pits as well? It's 4 to go. Reptile must be seriously on the piss. He must be seriously on the piss tonight if he's pitted. Seriously. He must be on the piss. Jenny's storming. Jenny is storming. Well, if Reptile somehow... He's going to get behind Edge. Well, you know what? That's karma to you. That's karma. That's karma, Reptile. Harwiggy does the fastest lap of the race. That's karma, Reptile. Jenny now is about to come through here on Abyss. I'm not surprised Jenny made this decision because it worked perfectly. Side by side and Abyss is around. Oh dear. And that was never going to end well. And I think we'll hear some stewards after that one, but boy, you'll have to look back on the replay for that one because that may be where things will be found. The inters now have really come into play. The inters have really come into play now. Edge is going a lot of time on Little T. But the inters have really started to come into play now. 36-7. Inters are the tire to be on now. So the track conditions, I apologise to all the inters runners when you watch this back, the track conditions have completely changed. They've completely changed in the last few laps. And now it's, you want to be on the inters. You want to be on the inters. Boy, oh boy. So... Jenny has 11th second lead over Abyss. Oxygen Thief there, Little T in 4th, Edge, then Reptile. Reptile's going to get Edge anyway. He might even get Little T here for 4th. If these two catch up to him that quick. But still, Reptile could have still stayed out. He was under 3 seconds of Oxygen Thief. He could have had a podium. Maybe even a second if things changed the way they did. As Paddy Crow gets a time penalty. It's free to go here in the Grand Prix. 1.2. Notorious close it up here on Paddy Crow for P8 as well. Got a black hammer, by the way, in 13th. No penalties as of right now for him. So doing very nicely indeed. Reptile storming and closing in on Edge here. Gooch gets a fastest lap of the race. 15 seconds. Boy, oh boy, those inters, you want to be on them. Two to go. Abyss trying to find More water on track. He's around. He's around. That's big. That's a big incident for Abyss. In the wall. And Abyss, that's going to be off the podium. Oh my goodness me. And he's just, I think he just ghosted inside Oxygen Thief. Was there contact there? Jeez, if that was contact, that's ugly if there was contact there. Reptile could still get on the podium, so with what I said, ain't gonna mean shit. And Abyss is off again. Yeah, Reptile could literally get back on, could literally be on the podium after I talked shit about him. Oh, you know what? He does it every week when I commentate on him. He does it every week. When I talk shit about him, he always comes out of nowhere and delivers. And proves me wrong. But he's closing in on edge here for P5. Little T is actually, I think, doing very nicely here at the moment. But Edge is closing right on him. Abyss not really getting out of the way, but he did just in time. He'll want to get out of the way with his teammate here as well. And we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix now. Wow. Reptile doesn't need to pass Edge here. He doesn't. And Abyss gets out of the way. Abyss comes in. 31-second lead for Jenny Gooch right now. These two have caught up to Little T. If Reptile's going to be on the podium. I apologise, Reptile, as Paddy Crow is around. First of only a couple spins here tonight, surprisingly. Wiggy 6. Edge now gets another time penalty, so Little T's going to get fourth here at the moment. Oh, and Edge sends it on Little T. The Red Bull of Jenny Gooch now as Black Hammer's in this fight as well. And Reptile, all he has to do is just be very patient and he should get through. Notorious and Abyss out goes down the field. But coming to the final corner now, because now is Jenny Gooch. A superb result, superb pit strategy, and it's helped. 35-second lead, so even if there was any penalty Abyss put on, it'll just only be for super license points. But Jenny Gooch wins the British Grand Prix. A superb result, even with a celebration slide, still gets the fastest lap of the race. Oxygen Thief will be second. It's going to be a 1-2 for Red Bull. And Reptile should be through on Little T. He is. And Reptile should get on the podium here at the moment. As now Oxygen Thief will cross the line and will miraculously get in second. Boy, maybe Reptile did make it the right decision, the right point. It's hard when he's through on his teammate. But it's not going to matter because I think Little T will stay ahead. Edge now comes through, but Reptile will get third. Little T talk amongst yourselves there. Hartwiggy through P5, Little T P6. I'm not going to say anything. Notorious now will come through for P7, but no, Abyss won't get him. So Reptile made the right decision because Edge would have pressured him at the end there. So once again, I'm wrong, and that's why I'm not a professional commentator. Abyss is around. This is why I'm not signed up to esports, because I get everything wrong. Paddy Crow comes through in P8, Abyss P9, Stroke Race with a time penalty, a football and bow comes in P10. We'll check the driver there, I'll give you the results. And folks, don't forget, as Notorious gets driver today in the Ferrari, don't forget to watch F2 on Saturday if it does indeed get streamed here at the British Grand Prix, and Sunday afternoon for the British Grand Prix as well as a wild race in Austria. What will happen on Sunday if indeed it does get streamed. Hopefully it does. Hopefully we'll get a couple of commentators or at least a streamer to stream it. There's the results for Austria Thief. We'll see you next week for the Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm off to bed. I'm fucked.